When Taylor Swift's album arrives, Blake Lively skips Ryan Reynolds' premiere, but her sisters attend. Blake Lively did not show up for her husband Ryan Reynolds' Thursday night film premiere. However, her relatives did. Two of her sisters, Robyn and Lori, together with Robyn's miniature daughter, Kate, posed with the A-list star. It was a screening of John Candy. I Like Me in Los Angeles. Reynolds and Colin Hanks are co-producers of the movie. Given that her former pal Taylor Swift's album, Life of a Showgirl, was being released that same evening, Lively probably wanted to keep a low profile. Swift's connection with the former Gossip Girl star is thought to have ended, as evidenced by the song Cancelled, which is one of the collection's tracks. Lively's involvement in the lawsuit with Justin Baldoni over the It Ends With Us movie, which led to Swift's legal subpoena and feelings of betrayal, is said to have caused Swift and Lively's friendship to dissolve. Their once close relationship suffered as a result of Swift feeling exploited by being drawn into the legal dispute. The friendship does not appear to have been restored, even though the lawsuit was dropped. Rosemary, John's wife, and their two kids, Christopher and Jennifer Candy, were also present. The life, career, and loss of comedic legend John Candy is the subject of the Recently. With his exceptional acting and comedic timing, he amassed millions of followers worldwide, making him one of the most successful celebrities of his generation. He tragically passed away at the age of 43 from a severe heart attack on March 4th, 1994, leaving behind a young family and a world in mourning. On October 10th, the documentary will make its global premiere on Prime Video. It follows Macaulay's admission that John quickly realized his father was a monster years before he began to distance himself from him. Home Alone and Uncle Buck, the latter movie in which he first met John, catapulted former child star Macaulay to stardom. As his own father, Kit, whom he would later accuse of physical and emotional abuse, turned into an infamous monster, John became a paternal figure to the actor on set. Macaulay thought of John watching out for him in the midst of his turbulent family life during this week's 2025 Toronto International Film Festival, TIFF. I think he always had that really excellent instinct, he said, as reported by People. I believe he noticed. Listen, it was easy to see how challenging my father was even before the wave crested and the Home Alone drama began. There was no secret. He was a monster already arrived, and he turned into a notorious monster. He wasn't a good man already. I believe John had a sidelong glance and asked, "Is everything okay over there? Are you doing well? How are you today? Is everything okay? Is everything at home going well?" Okay. He claimed that John was simply looking out for him on set, and that his concern was a testament to the kind of man he was. It is not a common occurrence. In fact, it became less frequent with time. I wish my life had more of that. It is crucial that I keep in mind. John showed, I think that's why that's one of my favorite performances, because I think he put a lot of himself into it. Macaulay remarked of his time on Uncle Buck, 1989, adding that John was always incredibly nice and really good when working with kid actors. John originally gained notoriety in 1972 while performing with the Toronto branch of the improv comedy troupe, The Second City. After that, he joined the cast of Second City Television, a comedy variety show from Toronto that was taken up by NBC in 1981 and quickly became a great smash. The absence of Blake Lively from her husband Ryan Reynolds' premiere John Candy, I Like Me on October 2nd, 2025, has inevitably sparked curiosity, speculation, and extensive commentary across entertainment media, social platforms, and public discourse. At first glance, it might appear to be a simple matter of scheduling conflict or personal preference. However, when considered in the context of Taylor Swift's simultaneous release of her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, as well as the intricate legal entanglements that have involved Lively in recent months, the situation becomes a far more nuanced and multi-layered phenomenon that touches upon the delicate interplay of celebrity relationships, media narratives, fan culture, and societal interpretation of public figures. Blake Lively, an established Hollywood star whose career has long been intertwined with that of Reynolds, has often been portrayed as the archetypal supportive partner, a figure who navigates the dual demands of family life and public persona with a carefully curated blend of visibility and privacy. Her decision to abstain from attending a premiere for a film that her husband co-produced, particularly one celebrating the life and legacy of a comedic icon like John Candy, appears on the surface to contradict expectations of marital solidarity. Yet the timing of this absence, coinciding precisely with the highly anticipated release of Swift's album, invites consideration of additional factors, particularly the historical and recent dynamics of Lively's relationship with Swift, which has undergone a notable transformation over the past year. Their friendship, once described in media reports as close and supportive, seems to have fractured, primarily as a result of Swift's involvement, willing or otherwise, in the legal dispute surrounding Justin Baldoni's Film Ends With Us. While the court proceedings ultimately concluded with a subpoena being dropped and the legal matter resolved in Lively's favor, the lingering sense of perceived exploitation on Swift's part reportedly left a lasting imprint on their personal rapport. Swift's feelings of being drawn into a dispute that she considered tangential to her interests may have eroded trust, fostering professional and emotional distance between the two women. Within this context, the simultaneous scheduling of Swift's album release and Reynolds' film premiere is not merely coincidental. It serves as a symbolic juncture highlighting the tensions between personal loyalties, professional obligations, and public image management. From a celebrity relationship standpoint, Lively's absence may reflect a deliberate act of discretion, an effort to maintain privacy amid heightened scrutiny, or even a subtle acknowledgement of the complex interpersonal terrain shaped by prior legal and emotional conflicts. Unlike Reynolds' extended family members, her sisters Robyn and Lori, who attended with Robyn's daughter Kate, Lively's non-appearance conveys a layered narrative that speaks to the delicate choreography required of public figures navigating overlapping spheres of friendship, marriage, and professional association. The presence of her sisters on the red carpet, smiling and posing for photographers, underscores a distinction between familial support and the personal choices that define one's participation in public life, reminding observers that attendance is not merely about visibility, but also about the subtler messaging encoded in public appearances. The media's framing of Lively's absence further complicates the narrative, reflecting broader patterns in which celebrity behaviors are interpreted through a prism of intrigue, speculation, and cultural projection. Coverage of the event has oscillated between empathetic acknowledgement of potential scheduling conflicts, pointed speculation about interpersonal tensions, and sensationalist conjecture regarding possible rifts with Swift. Social media platforms, in particular, have amplified these narratives, offering real-time commentary and generating a feedback loop in which fans, commentators, and casual observers alike contribute to the collective interpretation of the event. Memes, posts, and trending hashtags have rapidly emerged, often foregrounding speculation over confirmed facts, illustrating the degree to which contemporary audiences engage with celebrity culture as an interactive spectacle. This phenomenon is emblematic of a broader shift in public consumption of celebrity news, in which traditional journalistic reporting intersects with participatory digital culture, creating layered narratives in which private choices are refracted through multiple interpretive lenses. Fan reactions to Lively's absence in Swift's album release reveal the complexity of modern celebrity fandoms, which are highly attuned not only to artistic output, but also to the interpersonal dynamics of their favorite figures. Swift's dedicated fan base, accustomed to parsing lyrical content for autobiographical insights, immediately linked thematic elements of the life of a showgirl, including tracks such as Cancelled and White Dollar $T, to her history with Lively, reading potential subtext into lyrics that touch upon betrayal, exploitation, and estrangement. Lively's fan base, conversely, may interpret her absence as an assertion of personal autonomy, a signal that private life sometimes takes precedence over public expectation. The dialogue between these overlapping fan communities illustrates the interpretive labor that contemporary audiences engage in, a process by which music, public appearances, and media coverage are combined to construct coherent narratives around celebrity behavior. These narratives are not purely speculative. They intersect meaningfully with ongoing discussions of personal agency, friendship, and professional responsibility. In examining the historical context, parallels emerge with other high-profile celebrity dynamics, revealing recurrent patterns in how public and private actions are interpreted. Hollywood history is replete with examples of prominent figures navigating simultaneous professional obligations and personal relationships under public scrutiny, from Audrey Hepburn's selective appearances at premieres while balancing family life, to more contemporary instances, such as the publicized tensions among members of music collectives, film ensembles, and award season campaigns. What these instances share is a constant tension between visibility and discretion. Celebrities must perform a delicate balancing act, negotiating obligations to projects, peers, fans, and their own private lives. Lively's absence, while seemingly small in scope, resonates within this broader historical pattern, exemplifying how a single act or omission can carry disproportionate interpretive weight. The role of legal disputes in shaping these dynamics cannot be overstated. The Baldoni lawsuit and Swift's tangential involvement underscores the extent to which professional entanglements can bleed into personal relationships. Even after judicial resolution, emotional and relational residues remain, influencing subsequent interactions and public choices. The legal dimension adds complexity to the social interpretation of events, providing a structural backdrop against which personal decisions are made. In Lively's case, abstaining from premiere may reflect an effort to avoid additional scrutiny, potential media conflation, or perceived endorsement of a public spectacle that could reignite discussions about past conflicts. Beyond the interpersonal and legal dimensions, the cultural significance of the John Candy, I Like Me documentary adds yet another layer to the unfolding narrative. John Candy, a beloved figure whose career spanned decades and whose comedic talent resonated with multiple generations, represents a form of nostalgic engagement that carries emotional weight. The premiere itself is not merely a professional event but a cultural moment, celebrating a legacy that intersects with contemporary sensibilities. Reynolds' involvement as co-producer situates him at the intersection of familial, professional, and nostalgic commitments, highlighting the multidimensional nature of public appearances. Lively's absence in this context is therefore interpreted not just as a personal choice, but as a statement, intentional or otherwise, in the cultural and emotional space that the premiere occupies. In considering societal implications, this event illustrates the ways in which audiences internalize and project narratives onto celebrity behavior. The public fascination with perceived rifts, loyalty, and conflict reflects broader psychological and sociological phenomena, including the human desire for storytelling, the projection of moral frameworks onto observed behavior, and the vicarious engagement with lives perceived as extraordinary yet relatable. The interplay between celebrity agency and public expectation demonstrates how personal decisions, such as attending a premiere or prioritizing personal over public engagements, become symbolic acts within a larger cultural discourse. The ripple effect extends beyond mere gossip, influencing fan behaviors, social media discourse, and even professional opportunities. Moreover, the dual timing of Lively's absence and Swift's album release invites reflection on strategic considerations in celebrity career management. Swift, as a musician with a finely tuned awareness of public perception and marketing impact, timed the life of a showgirl to maximize cultural visibility. Lively, conversely, may have leveraged her absence as a form of strategic discretion, prioritizing private navigation of personal tensions over public engagement. This juxtaposition highlights the diversity of approaches to career and relationship management within high-profile spheres, underscoring the multiplicity of factors that inform decisions that are publicly scrutinized yet privately motivated. Looking ahead, the long-term implications of this event remain open to interpretation. Will Lively and Swift reconcile publicly, or will the absence signal continued estrangement? How will media narratives evolve as new developments emerge in both the musical and cinematic landscapes? The ways in which audiences, critics, and scholars interpret these events may shape the broader cultural understanding of friendship, loyalty, and personal agency in celebrity contexts for years to come. Furthermore, the premiere of John Candy, I Like Me itself may take on added symbolic resonance, as viewers consider not only the content of the documentary, but also the surrounding context of public appearances, attendance choices, and interpersonal dynamics among Hollywood figures. In sum, Blake Lively's absence from premiere, when considered in conjunction with Taylor Swift's album release, the backdrop of legal disputes, media framing, fan interpretation, historical precedents, and cultural resonance, constitutes a multidimensional case study in contemporary celebrity culture. It illustrates the intricate choreography required of public figures navigating overlapping spheres of private relationships, professional obligations, and public expectation. Each action, inaction, and timing choice is magnified, interpreted, and embedded within broader narratives that extend far beyond the immediate context. This event, while singular in occurrence, exemplifies the ongoing negotiation between visibility and privacy, intimacy and publicity, personal loyalty and professional duty, offering rich insight into the complexities of modern fame. It reminds us that in the contemporary landscape, where social media, traditional journalism, and fan culture intersect, celebrity behavior cannot be understood in isolation, but must be contextualized within legal, cultural, relational, and historical frameworks. Blake Lively's choice, therefore, while seemingly a momentary absence, becomes emblematic of the broader tensions inherent in public life, inviting reflection on the delicate balance between personal agency and public expectation, the weight of historical friendships and disputes, and the interpretive frameworks through which society engages with its most prominent figures. The layered interpretations, potential consequences, and cultural resonance of this event will undoubtedly continue to unfold, offering a compelling lens through which to examine the intricate interdependencies of fame, friendship, professional obligation, and audience perception in the 21st century.